Hey, Sean here from Raw Technique Studios. Check me out, rawtechniquestudios.com, for recording, mixing, mastering, and beats. So this video is just a quick tip video on all the shortcuts that you could use in Pro Tools. I'm running a Mac, so that's the keyboard commands that I'll be using. But this will speed up the recording and mixing process so much more. So just here's a couple that I use in my daily mixing and recording. So let's start with fades. Say you want to fade in this little part because it's coming in too hot. So Command F will bring up the fade window, select your curve, okay. It'll add a fade there for you. All right, cuts. So say you have something right here, you wanted these two separated from each other so you could move this around. You just put the selector tool where you want it, select right there, Command E will cut it, and then you can move this around and affect it however you want, and that one's separated. All right, so zooming, let's say we want to zoom in on this little piece right here. Command right bracket will zoom in to wherever your selector tool is at, wherever you selected, and zoom out is to the command left bracket. All right. Now another cool function is if you have this highlighted up here, it's the tab to transient button, then every time you press tab, it's going to jump to the transients. So whether you're in grid or not, it'll jump through the transients, okay? So say this right here, I want to have a perfect cut from this transient to this transient so I could duplicate it or something. So what I'm going to do is you can select wherever, like say I'm over here. Tab hits me right at the transient. I'm going to Command E to cut it. I'm going to go to the next transient that is right here, Command E, and then I'm going to select this. Zoom out a little bit so you can see it. Now I want to duplicate it, Command D, that'll duplicate, okay? All right. So now switching from edit and mix window, Command equal brings you to your mix. Command equal again brings you back to your edit window. Easy way to switch through. Grouping. So let's say we want these 4 tracks grouped together because they compile the hook. Well, what you do is you select the top track, go down to the last track that you're wanting to group together of these 4, hold down Shift, and then click. It'll select all 4 of those. Then now that all 4 of those are selected, Command G will put them into a group. Name the group whatever you want. However you want to affect it. Do you want all your editing to affect it all at once? Or do you want just the mixing, like solos, mutes, volume? So that's up to you. Okay. So now the group over here is highlighted. Whenever that's dark like that, it's going to affect all 4 of those together, no matter what you do. So if you want to affect just like, say, this little piece right here you wanted to cut out and you didn't want all 4 affected, but you still want to keep your group, all you have to do is unhighlight it, go over, cut what you want, go back to your highlight, everything's back to being grouped again. Okay? Now, okay. More about the whole using Shift and as well Option. Say all these are selected and you wanted to select just that. If you're just clicking it, it's not going to do anything. You have to hold Command and then click it. So it'll unhighlight it and then you could highlight just a single one. If, like I said before, if you're selecting multiple, just hold down Shift. If you wanted to select just this one and this one, you hold down Command. So you can select whichever ones you want. And then another thing, if you want to select everything at once, so say I want everything soloed, hold down Option and then press solo. It'll solo everything. And then keep holding down, if you hold down Option and then select it again, it'll unsolo everything. Let's say I want to add an EQ to every single track. Well, I could hold down Option and then go through, while I'm just keep holding down Option, go through, select an EQ. That's going to override what I already have. Here, let me do it on an insert. Option, plugin, EQ, here. All right. So because I was holding Option, it put an EQ on everything except the master fader, of course. But it put a option that EQ on everything because of holding Option. Now say you want to put an EQ on just like 5 or 6 tracks. So I'm going to hold down Option to get rid of these. All right, so I got rid of all those by holding Option. Now say just on the hook, so these 4 tracks, I want to put an EQ. So I'm going to hold down Shift, Option, EQ, select whichever you want. So now it's only pulled up on those 4. So Shift, Option, whatever you have highlighted, it'll come up on those. Option, it'll come up on everything. If you hold nothing, it'll just come up on that single one. Okay. All right. Now another thing. Let's see. Oh, switching between the different modes like shuffle, slip, grid. Instead of having to go up and click through them like that, sometimes you're working over here, you want it to be fast. Hold down Option, go to number 1 is shuffle, 2 is slip, 3 is spot, 4 is grid. All right, while holding Option, any of those. Now, same thing goes for these tools up here, your selector tool, your trim tool, your hand tool, and all that. You hold down Command. 1 is zoom, 2 is trim, 3 is selector, 4 is hand, and then the audio one here and the pencil. 6, 7, Command 7 will highlight those 3 main tools again. So that helps out when you're jumping through things over here and you want to just say I wanted to pull this down, or I wanted to add something. So it just helps out. Instead of having all 3, if you need to switch through them, it's quicker. You just use those commands. All right, so when you're recording or you're jumping through stuff, if you go onto your number pad, 1 is to rewind, 2 is to fast forward, and number 3, say I wanted to record something here, number 3 will choke me. I'm telling her to choke me. Like. All right. Let's see what else. Okay, and then also Command 1, hold down Command number 1 on the pad, number pad. That's gonna, if this isn't already up, it'll bring it up. So let me exit it. Command 1, that brings that up. And one that I use a lot is Shift Command N. This is to create a new track. And instead of having to go through and click stereo and all that stuff, if you hold down Command down, it'll go through your tracks, the different types. Command right will go to stereo. Command left brings you back to mono. And if you wanted to add several different things, say I wanted a mono audio track there, Shift Command down will give me another, and now I could do a stereo there, Shift Command down another, and I could put a stereo instrument track here and create it all like this instead of having to do it several times. And if you add something you don't want, just to go back, Shift Command up will get rid of those. And escape to get out of that. Yeah, that's pretty much everything I use on a regular basis that really helps speed up the process. So hopefully that helps you speed up your mixing and recording process. And don't forget to check out rawtechniquestudios.com. Peace.